It's like a mad comfortable couch.
Isn't it awesome? We spent
nice
a lot.
couch.
We spent 10 grand on that couch.
No, you did not. What the fuck you did not?
Not quite.
It was
Not quite.
700.
No, but it was 50. It was with 2 of the chairs that aren't here yet.
How much was it?
70 something.
I thought it was. I was joking. I thought it was like 2,000.
Was it 7
Jesus
grand?
Christ, bro! No way it was,
Bro.
Okay, awesome. Well, I think we are live, episode 15 of Sold Out with our friend TJ. TJ Card Collector on Twitter. Good friend of ours, actually one of our employees. Specifically, just a big sports card guy, pretty relevant as far as hobby Twitter goes and what have you. So yeah, man, I'll give you the floor if you want to introduce yourself, a little bit about how you kind of became relevant in the community and whatnot. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I'm TJ. My real name's Tanner. I really just started my card Twitter last summer. I got back into it. I bought a collection. I collected all as a kid, and I bought a collection off this guy. I thought it was just going to be junk wax, and I pulled a Mickey Mantle out and started really getting into it. Yeah, I pulled a Mickey Mantle like
The 52 one or whatever?
56.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I pulled a 56, and I went to my old dealer and traded it for a bunch of modern stuff.
Okay.
That I didn't have to get graded, none of that stuff. And really just started snowballing. Started out with raw cards, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm pretty good at this at raw. So I went to PSA 9s, and then now I've finally gotten into PSA 10s, and then, pushed into like 4-digit cards, and, maybe one day like 5-digit cards, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got started. And just
when was it that you bought that collection out? What year was that?
last year, like last July.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that it was that recent that you actually first got into it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I just took it and kept rolling, and then I started, hunting retail. Like that was my thing. That was really what got me into cards and wanting modern cards.
Yeah.
And
Wasn't that was kind of how I think I first saw you like publicly on Twitter, and I think how a lot of people were first introduced to you was like some of your retail hunting success, like way back, right? Last winter.
Yeah. So I started out with, I think Chronicles was my first like big one. So
Chronicles basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my dad was a manager at Walmart. Oh well, he's not anymore. So and then
okay.
Yeah. So I kind of.
Is that your fault?
What you mean?
got fired?
No.
Yeah, you got him fired.
So yeah, but he works for me now. So
Fair.
So yeah, he was a manager. He introduced me to the vendor, and then I took the relationship from there. So it kind of didn't have a manager attached to the vendor connection.
Yeah.
So I kind of grew it from there. I met her employees and everything, and I just started like getting a mass amount of retail.
Okay.
Had a partner in it, and really that just took off. I just started making castles and posting them and getting shit on me.
Yeah.
Honestly, and started out being hated, and then I just started like, kind of breaking it down. Like, this is how I'm going to make my money. I'm buying cards from you. I may not be buying cards if I didn't have the money from flipping wax.
Right. Exactly. So would you say that like collecting has become a big part of your presence in the hobby? Like, is that a big part of what you do day to day? Is collecting vintage, maybe flipping modern? Would you say, or?
Yeah. So I normally collect. I have like a very specific collection. So I collect like Alabama collegiate cards.
Okay.
That's like my big collection. And I collect Lonzo Ball just because he's what got me back into basketball, following that storyline.
Yeah.
And outside of that, I really just go for like deals, like and I invest in players that I really like think are going to do well.
Yeah.
So obviously people know me as like the Tua guy. Like I'm a Tua
Big
homer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You stand Tua. Yeah.
My best Tua card is probably a Kaboom.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Those cards look so sick.
Kabooms are amazing.
Yeah, and I think
if I ever got a sports card, it'd be a Kaboom.
dude, you got to get a Kaboom. If you're
That's
buying
sweet.
Pokemon, you got to get a Kaboom.
Well, yeah, that's why I buy Pokemon. I think they look cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I want a Kaboom. I've seen those.
Yeah, and shout out Roberto Galvez is a Twitter guy.
Yes,
and that
very
dude, his
familiar with
Kaboom
Roberto.
stuff is just crazy.
Oh,
That's like his favorite,
that.
right?
Yeah,
Doesn't he have a Kobe?
Oh, he's got like some out of 10. Like Jim
Dang.
Mint, like it's crazy. Storytime,
that
I think it's
picture.
Storytime Collectibles or something.
Yeah.
On Instagram, and he's Roberto Galvez on Twitter. Like his stuff is crazy. So he got me like I seen a Tua, just Kaboom searching and really got hooked on like stuff like that.
Kabooms are. Well, I'll grab a few good graphics and put them up on screen. They've got like that comic book style to them, man. They're fun. They're
Where
just.
did they come from?
They're Panini.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like what product you're saying?
Yeah,
specifically?
like I've never seen like what product do you buy those?
I think they use Kabooms to like lift mediocre like products. Like when they want people, so they released Obsidian that had a Kaboom in it once, or not Obsidian didn't have a Kaboom, it had a Color Blast. But they released like Absolute, and it had a Kaboom.
Got
they
it.
released
Wow.
like
Never even heard of
different brands since 2012.
Have
and
they
had
put it in
Cruiser.
like Chronicle, any like
I don't-
paper products like that, or
Absolute?
Yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
it's a thicker card. Super hard to like gem just because of the condition of them, but they've got a lot of people like that was their niche. So actually, I think a lot of people got lifted in the hobby by stuff like Kaboom, by stuff like little niche things like that.
Yeah, that just popped.
That just popped.
Yeah.
And they were buying them. Say I don't know what Roberto when he got in or anything like that, but they were buying them like on the low, like
Right.
for all these years because they're like you said they're dope cards.
Yep,
And then all of a sudden they just pop off.
and became incredibly popular in the
Yeah.
hobby.
And
And
probably
then,
very limited, right?
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
they're
for sure.
super hard to pull, right?
Oh,
Like, the
yeah,
pull
like-
rates are essentially
So you can
zero.
buy like a
Top, yeah, that's
Yeah.
So you can buy like a cello box of the Absolute football.
Okay.
And like maybe like I'd say one in every 3 or 4 is gonna have one in it.
Okay,
But
but not necessarily the player you want.
not
and
any that
whatnot.
I buy. Like
Yep.
when I buy one, it never has it in it.
Got it.
So-
Yeah, naturally, right? That's
But
how
yeah.
it goes. No, that's cool, man. I one thing I wanted to talk just in a super general sense, like card market. How did we get here? Where are we now? And where do we see ourselves going in the near future? So interesting that you really dove in headfirst last July. So would you say that you got in when stuff was starting to really peak? Because I remember last like June, July, August, September, the buzz was crazy. You had Illusions basketball drop, one of the trashiest products that I
Yeah.
can even remember, selling for 3x profit.
Yeah.
You know what I
Bad.
mean? It was just so the stuff was absolutely popping back then.
Right.
We've seen retraces, cool downs in the market. I would say for the last, I want to say 4.5 months, it's actually been on a steady decline up until roughly 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And now we're starting to see some V-shaped recovery
Yep.
in different categories, maybe sealed wax, slabbed cards and whatnot. Some of the big high dollar items are trying to find their new market values, I believe. But overall, I think that markets are psychological, right? That's
Right.
like the primary thing that makes up any market, whether it's like crypto, stock market, anything. So the fact that there's so much positive sentiment and people are talking so positively about the sports card market right now, I think is a good indicator for where we're going, which is in a healthy direction. Go ahead. No, I
Right.
look, you were going to say something.
So where you say how we get here,
Yep.
like I know we talked, and I think there are a bunch of theories about like here's what started it, here's what started. There's countless YouTube videos on why it crashed.
Yeah.
I'd say I got in July. I was in a good spot. I got in where it was like you could make plays
Yep.
and build yourself without losing it. Whereas like November hit and we had a big dip. I don't know if people remember, but like back in November, like basketball started bottoming, and then December just went crazy.
Yes. And then
Uh,
up until February is when stuff hit their all-time highs.
All time high. And I
Yep.
think that personally, now that you say that, February was like the demise of a lot of things because
Yeah.
March came around and people, like, I didn't understand it, but people are paying so much money for like junk wax
Yes.
and
And base.
yeah, and
cards.
base stuff and junk wax. And I go to these card shows and like there's stacks of the same card. And I'm sitting there like, if you see a stack of shoes and
Yeah.
the inventory is just crazy, you're probably not going to want to buy that.
I'm just gonna assume that it's a less rare, less desirable
Right.
shoe. Yeah,
Right, and it's
naturally.
like the Zion Prism. When I went to Dallas in January and seen just mounds of those, like
Yeah.
I immediately sold all my PSA 9s and because I wasn't up to PSA 10 at that time.
right.
I went ahead and sold those, and I just thought like this isn't gonna last.
Yep.
Like I need to start in my bio it says low pop seeker, and it's true to an extent because I want stuff that is hard to comp.
Right.
I want stuff when I go to sell it and people ask me for comps, I'm like, well, this is from 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Because if you've got something that's so like people undercutting and more people getting into the card market that are just undercutting on whether it be StockX or
Yeah.
eBay or something like that.
More people have access to those base cards and
Right,
whatnot.
more access, and I think you've seen such a decline, and I think so many people lost their asses in February
Yeah.
from buying all this. I mean, I was whipping out the collection I bought in July and just selling the junk wax I'd bought for crazy amounts of profit.
Right.
It just didn't make sense to me.
Sure.
Like these Shaq cards that were $2 back in the day, I was selling them for like 15 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that really like people have lost their ass on that.
Yep.
Now you're starting to see PSA submissions come back where people submitted stuff.
Yeah.
and like it's worth nothing now.
Right, exactly. All the base that people are getting back now. I've seen some stuff on the timeline recently, just on Twitter. I've seen some people posting like slabs of just such low value modern cards. It's like dumbfounding that anyone even submitted them in the first place.
And I honestly think that's why PSA changed their grading scheme or their price scheme. It's just because like they kept like how many Kyle Kuzma Donruss bases can you grade before you just get pissed off?
They didn't even want to see them anymore.
Like I say that because I have a Kuzma at PSA right now. Donruss base.
Yeah.
Like I sent back when they were doing like decent numbers.
Right.
But onto that point, I think where we're going, I think people are finally starting to accept their losses.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I bought
recalibrate their investments.
Right. Yeah. Right. Like I bought an E-Topps LeBron for $1K when they were doing 1,200. Now they're doing like 5 to 7.
Yep.
And like, but I look at it. I take a different approach when I buy a card.
Yeah.
I don't look at it as like, okay, I've got 500. You know, I'm going to book this vacation because I got 500 on the table over here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I automatically think of everything as an expense.
Yep.
Like if I can't afford to lose this, so if I need $500 and it's already sunk, or if I need $300 and it's sunk to 300, I'm selling the card. I don't care if I'm in the red on it.
Sure. Yeah.
You know?
If you need that liquidity, you're not gonna be so obstinate where you hold like I'm not selling until it goes back above where I bought it from.
Yeah.
I think that holds a lot of people back as far as liquidity and being ready for the next investment.
It does, because if there's something I can buy for 300 that I think is going to make me 600, that may reach 600 before your original investment of 500 gets back to 600.
Better investments than what you were in. Yeah.
You just explained that better than I think I've ever been able to summarize it. But that was a great summary, and that's why liquidity is important.
Opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost of holding some of these things. You know, if you're holding a bunch of, you know, I'll bring it back to a super common example of like Yeezys, like the Yeezy 350 Zion. If you're holding a bunch of those, just waiting till they go back up $20 more, just so you can break even, like who cares?
I don't understand why people do that, because like I'm going to go to Starbucks and get a $10 drink. Do you think I'm going to haggle you over $10?
Right.
Like when I'm just spending that
exactly
meaninglessly, like I don't understand why people will like hold it. And I think that's what's gotten to people as you keep going to these shows. And like the first Dallas show was a bloodbath. Like no one wanted to sell.
I heard
everything.
Exactly.
It was so terrible. Like everybody wanted to trade because people wanted the opportunity.
Weren't buying either. People weren't spending cash. Like,
right. Yeah. People wanted to get in on cards, but they didn't want to do it to the expense of their own pride.
Well, they wanted to get out of their base. They wanted to like trade all their base for like numbered cards and whatnot.
And you've got people who are going to take advantage of that and be able to sell that. Like Ryan on Twitter, like he's going to give good prices. And
shout out Ryan's Cards LLC. Yep.
Yeah, my guy. Well, our guy now, but I guess not out yet. But
so by the time,
by the time this comes out, but
Ryan's the man. He's he does good business over there.
But and he's going to take advantage of markets like this.
Yep.
And people that are smart. But if you're sitting there and you're holding all your stuff and you're looking over there and seeing people making plays, like you're getting behind. Yeah. Whether you lost money on your cards or not, like you're getting behind. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that, and that's why people are excited for the National.
For sure. So. Dude, I think there's a lot of positive sentiment because of the National. I think that's my only like reservation. I don't want to be that guy, like, but just to play devil's advocate, all the positive sentiment and positive trends in the market recently, I just hope and pray that it doesn't take another sharp decline and cool back off a lot after the National occurs, because people are super excited for the National. People are buzzing. They're excited to see their favorite card, meet their favorite people, you know, meet friends in the hobby they haven't seen in a long time. So as a result, there's people holding on to, you know, keep retaining their value in their investments, going to be bringing it to the National. People are hopeful. My only fear is that maybe afterwards it cools back off a little bit, but.
And I think to that statement, I think it's going to be such a high getting to see people from the internet. Yeah. Like I'm going to be there with everybody that I talk to every day.
Yep.
And I think people are going to be more willing to go to the next show.
Right.
And I don't think people are going to dump, because there's going to be a shit ton of money like flow through that National. I don't think people are going to get it and be like, oh, this is boring again.
Right. Yeah, like, you're right. It's going to maybe revitalize the culture.
I feel like it's just going to carry it. Like the momentum after that.
That's true.
It's a counterpoint to everybody being like, oh, everybody's going on trips now. Like people are making trips for cards now too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like just because travel restrictions are lifted, like now you're able to go to California to go to a card show, or I'm able to come to Ohio.
Dallas a better example, but Dallas especially, people are traveling freely, like
exactly. Yep. And like you've got hubs like that where you can do stuff more freely, and like I think people are excited about that
for sure.
I don't think the whales are going to miss, like all their vlogs are going to be going up, and they're going to be now I won't say pumping because like I don't want to feed in any conspiracy theories, but
Yeah.
like even Gary Vee's getting back into it, and
Mhm.
football's rolling back around, and basketball is going to be rolling back around, and
Yep.
we're starting to get that pinnacle.
I've definitely seen, like Gary, I think put out a sports card video just a couple weeks ago, and I saw all the comments like, finally, you're putting out card content again.
You said it's like a Gary V-shaped curve.
Yeah, Gary V-shaped curve,
Yeah.
exactly. That's hilarious. But man, his impact on the hobby and kind of like the buzz that we had getting to where we are today is incredible. That guy's the real deal. I mean, obviously, as far as pumping up some of his own investments, sure, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But in a general sense, he's on top of a lot of these markets early. It's impressive. I know one thing too we wanted to touch on was SGC a little bit. You had some stuff about SGC specifically you wanted to.
So, and that's a big topic right now. And when we were going over things about, what are people talking about, it's SGC like the play.
Yeah.
And I've seen tweets about it almost every day about, are you going to make more money? And, the comp on this is this and the comp on this. And I think it all boils down to like, yes, the comp may be this, but if there's bins right now that are lower than that, like it just proves that like, it may match a PSA 10 price or get it close to it, but the liquidity is still not there.
Right.
Like you're not going to be able to, I don't care what it is. You're not going to be able to move an SGC 10, an SGC 9.5, SGC 9 for the same price. I mean, or for the
why
same,
would you?
Yeah, for the same like
speed,
ease. Yeah.
Yeah, or the same ease. Yeah, there's not as many buyers.
There,
There's not as many buyers for SGC
Right.
10s as there are PSA
Like,
10s.
No.
Would you buy an
I would
SGC?
never ever. I would never buy one, and
Would
I'm
you?
new to the market.
So you're
I
like
really won't buy it. 'Cause
you
I
are-
want PSA.
You're buying, exactly. So just
Yeah.
backstory on that conversation. Vince has been buying some investment Pokemon cards.
Mhm.
I'm a
And
noob.
you would
I'm
never
a noob. Yeah, and I'm
exactly
a noob. Yeah.
to Pokemon in
Yeah.
particular, and it's like you would never touch SGC. I'm
No.
gonna stick to what I know is safe, which is
Yeah.
or it's safe and in demand,
Yep.
which is PSA. Or BGS at this point.
BGS, yeah, I would do BGS.
Yeah, I would do
too.
BGS.
Yeah.
I used to be a hater of BGS because their slabs are, but I just like, you see all these other grading companies come out and you're like, never mind, I appreciate BGS.
Right.
Like-
They do pretty good work over there. So wait, their slabs, you don't like the slab
They're
itself?
they're
or-
so thick.
yeah, they're bulky.
Like, it
For
just
sure.
looks fake like a Kardashian.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Yeah. No, I know what you mean though. Actually, about the Beckett
They're
slabs.
kind of real.
What Kardashians? Yeah. Well, that's funny. So SGC, weren't there rumors of like collectors universe or that conglomerate of investors buying? Was it SGC or CGC?
So they were like in talks to buy SGC apparently, according to reports.
Okay.
And they came back and said, well, no, we're not doing this. Like PSA didn't agree to the same terms or
Okay.
something. Like Nat Turner actually, like, I tweeted something stupid. Like I was making fun of it, saying they're going to buy BGS.
Okay.
And I guess Nat took it seriously and like replied and was like, I don't know where people get this stuff.
No,
And
I'm
just
not.
like, yeah.
He replied to you. That's
Right.
funny.
Right, but it's stuff like that. Like one person says it and it's going to spread.
Right.
So I
like
don't know
wildfire.
what the truth. I honestly think that they were just wanting graders, and you don't have to train people that are already trained.
Right.
And SGC is known for being good graders. Like
Yeah.
they've been good. They've been doing vintage longer than almost anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably what it boils down to, is they just wanted graders.
Gotcha.
But
It's okay. So a few things just about like talking Nat Turner, PSA, Goldin Auctions. Those guys seem to be more or less aiming to monopolize the industry in a few different ways. Obviously, the purchase of Goldin Auctions being the most recent news. What are your opinions just on that whole conglomerate?
I like Goldin and I
Yep.
like PSA. But I think
Pillars to the hobby.
Yeah, pillars of the hobby, and
Yeah.
I think they both do really good for the hobby, despite what everyone wants to say.
Yep.
I think when it gets into that, you kind of do have to question. See, like with so there was a Jason Dominguez like crazy card. I don't know if it was. I think it was the 1 of 1 of his
Okay.
Bowman auto or something.
Yeah.
A while back, and they sent it to BGS, and he got like a BGS 6.
Oh, really?
So my thought is, now that they own PSA,
Yeah.
or now that PSA they're owned by the same group, if they have a card like that come through and they send it to PSA.
Are they getting special treatment as a
Right.
result?
Like if I ask you, like, hey, do you like TJ Card Collector?
Yeah, and I would say sometimes.
Right.
Right.
So
Of course, yeah.
and then sometime
Who's
with
that?
Yeah.
exactly. So I think there's a lot of bias there.
If I owned a grading company, I mean Steve Cohen okay, Steve Cohen, pretty legendary billionaire investor. You know, say what you want about him or his personality, but he's his investment portfolio is quite legendary. Doesn't he have the biggest card collection literally in the world?
Yeah, or most valuable maybe.
Or most valuable
Yeah,
card collection in the
right.
world. Yeah, and now he
So-
owns PSA and he owns.
I mean, how convenient.
Golden, very
Like-
convenient. Yes, as the world's biggest card collector, I would love to own the world's biggest,
Grading company.
card value determining company in the world, because that's what
Exactly.
PSA is. It's the value. It determines the value on sports cards.
And when you start
or
talking about
cards.
this kind of stuff, it's like no one really puts it together.
Yeah.
Or you have like the conspiracy theorists that are like, oh, this is what they're doing, this is what they're doing. But like when you break it down and have a real conversation about it, it's like, yeah, they're probably doing that.
Right. Right.
And I'm not, for legal reasons, I'm not saying they are doing that.
Oh,
but
no, there's nothing definitive, and obviously we've got nothing but respect for. I mean, again, that's a who's who of the industry.
Right.
These are some of the biggest dogs in the hobby today, and frankly, I have a lot of respect for the capital that they put into the hobby. I think it helps all of us. And yeah, I don't know. It's just that it's interesting to see like a giant snowball of investments, like PSA, Goldin Auctions. Like, what's next? Will they monopolize everything? Like, I don't know.
I do think it's kind of like, as you grow your group,
Yeah.
you're getting providers, you're getting people that you're hiring, like even me.
Yeah.
And Ryan, using him for our consignment services. It's
Mhm.
like, is GFNF trying to take like this over this? I mean, it's just like sometimes the opportunity is too good to pass up. So I think
That's it.
that's
Right,
probably
it's probably less nefarious and more like Ken Goldin wants, to set up his generations of his family, and
Yeah.
it's just the opportunity presented itself for the investment group. And you're probably right that it is probably far less nefarious as
Right.
sketchy as some of it does look to us. I mean, it's hard to know what I'd kill to be a fly on the wall
agreed.
in those types of meetings, seriously.
And I really hope Ken stays the face of the company too. Like
Oh,
I
he's-
like Ken.
Of course, I think
like him.
everyone does. He's super likable.
Yeah.
He's super genuine.
He's relevant too. He stays like with our community.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
like
Stays
that.
up to date on what the hottest news is, what the last biggest sale was, controversy, all of it. So yeah, you can tell he's like passionate.
Right.
I mean, Ken Goldin's a guy, like, he got in early, right before there was any real buzz like around the market like there is today. He built a passion project and a brand around himself and his name, and now he was able to sell it for a massive amount of money and set himself up. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. That's like a classic success story
Yeah, exactly.
of what you or I or anyone want to do with a business, is build something that you love, build something that you care about and you're passionate about, it's something that means a lot to you, and then to be able to sell that for the biggest bag in the world, that after you got to enjoy it all and still be the face of the company,
Right.
get to be flown around. I mean, it's a big deal. And
It's a win-win
It
for
is a
him.
win-win. Seriously. What about some other bit like of the bigger or biggest companies in the hobby, Panini, Topps? I want to talk a little bit about just like their printing, their aggressive printing, and maybe talk the conversation of printing versus quality control, and how are they doing with balancing those things, etc. So
I think it does tie back. So I'll start out with Topps.
Yeah.
Topps, I know everybody that's ripping Sapphire, ripping Chrome, it's just like seeing the same printing error over and over and over.
What is it?
It's where the peel on the piece of plastic or over the back is peeling on the back of like Sapphire and Chrome cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like
On like most of them?
on a lot of them.
Not
On the
on
parallels. On the parallels.
Not on ours.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah,
they
not-
It's special.
Oh yeah, we got perfect ones.
Yeah, we got-
I actually think that
You
you
can find
broke
them.
my heart about a really good card earlier today. We had that Verstappen out of 70. And,
So what's painful about that is that one didn't have the issue.
right.
It had a corner issue. So it's just like
Corner issue.
That's worse.
the whiting. Yeah.
No, that is painful. That is painful.
So, but yeah, I think Topps, and it's like, at what point, are they printing all these simultaneously? Like, I wouldn't think so.
right. Because
So-
how are they not correcting the issue?
Right. It just looks like the printer is just having a bad day and it's fucking every one of the cards.
Right.
Do you guys think it's kind of lame that like you literally open a brand new pack of cards
Yeah.
and you're
Mhm.
not getting a PSA 10 out of it?
Yeah.
Like
it
not
does
only do you
suck.
have to like get the 1 out of 10,000 card, but it has to literally be in better condition than most of the cards in the
Than
pack,
most.
At the same time, though, if everybody was getting PSA 10s,
I guess.
Right.
All new product would be 10s.
Right.
Yeah.
so I mean, I think there's there's that. But like that issue, when it's just reoccurring like that, it's just super annoying.
Yeah,
And I almost wonder, like, they had their IPO and they went public and everything.
Yes.
And the entire thing is like making money for the shareholders and trying to meet demand.
Right.
And then this thing, like, if Nike was trying to meet the demand of everybody, like, shoes would go down.
Right. If they were, Nike's found, I think Nike's found an amazing balance at balancing hype, scarcity, marketing, and then, you know, using influencer marketing to maybe prop up a silhouette before they start overproducing it. Whereas Topps, I mean, let's be honest, these are like 68-year-olds that smell like cigarettes and are just like, hey, we need more billions. Print them up.
And
get them going.
People buy it too, and that's the thing is like Topps just kept releasing shit, and like they throw Sapphire on everything. They throw they're like, oh, Bundesliga finest, and it's like Sapphire Bundesliga because
Sapphire Bundesliga finest chrome.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw together
and
all
it's
the
like
words.
it's just all these collabs that are so unnecessary. Not collabs, but versions that are so unnecessary.
Yep.
Like they're taking advantage of like BVB Dortmund having like an amazing talent generator, or talent academy, and they're just continuing to print cards and capitalize off those rookies.
Yep.
And it's almost like Panini did, like when Zion came through, and they were just like, oh, let's come up with Hoops Premium. And it's just like all these
as many
products.
basketball products as possible that say RC on the corner of Zion's card. They'll sell.
Look at Panini now. They just released Clearly Donruss, and it has like an insert Luka rookie. And it's like 3 years later.
That is so lame.
That is super lame.
If I pulled that, and they'll go for stupid money the first week, and then they'll crash. And they come out Friday, actually. Well, before it'll be posted. Anyway,
releases, but
so I just think both of them are after, I think Panini doesn't have that pressure yet because they haven't had an IPO yet. But I think
to meet that investor demand,
I think Topps just can't print enough of itself.
Right.
You know,
I could totally see that, dude. And also the reason why I'm so positive that that's what the boardroom at Topps looks like is like 68-year-olds smoking cigarettes is because of what they did with NFTs. There's a big contrast, man, between Topps and Panini. I'd say Panini's got their finger got their thumb on the pulse of the culture more so by a long shot than Topps.
Well, they did better with the blockchain.
Oh yeah, way better. Well, dude, I think Topps literally released the NFTs once, and then that was it. And they haven't built out that part of their there's no, you can't buy, sell, trade them, nothing.
They teamed up with Whack,
dude,
some weird crypto coin years ago.
Yeah.
Like Wax or something.
Yep.
There was a Counter-Strike thing at one point, I think.
And they don't market it as an NFT. Like Panini does an amazing job going, we're dropping NFTs, and Topps is like, this is Topps Digital.
Right.
Like,
didn't they drop once? And then that was it. They've not done anything since. I was reading about this on it was a big topic the other day on hobby Twitter, was people saying they were chirping Topps hey, you ever gonna make things right for the dudes that bought your NFTs because they're just holding worthless digital assets right now.
And the thing is, they don't have to.
Right.
It's Panini right now is having those cards you can't or couldn't sell for a long time. Couldn't sell the packs and stuff like that when you landed them.
Yep.
And I think if they open that up, you're going to have another Top Shot situation where it's going to be super hot and then it's going to go down. When Top Shot came out,
pressure.
And you could make so much money, but I just was not interested in it. It's one of those money things where, the money's there, but I couldn't find interest in it.
Yes.
I don't want to sit there in a queue and wait for that shit.
I don't know if you ever heard our initial takes on Top Shot versus so it's really funny, man, because when we were first heard about Top Shot and we heard about basically the investment firms that were involved in it, the way that they were holding people's money in the initiative by not allowing people to sell, and they were doing all these weird things to keep it from deflating. We were ignorant to the details of how the packs work or anything like that, but we're like, man, we understand that there's a lot of money in it was all artificial, right? Because it's hey, you just have a moment worth 100 today, but tomorrow you sold it for $1,000 equivalent, but you can't pull out that US dollar. You can't actually liquidate these cards or whatnot. So yeah, Top Shot was interesting. NFTs are hot right now, though. I can't knock it. As in general, man, NFTs are super hot. People are making money from it. I just think that the ones that are more corpo in the sense of Top Shot, the corporations win. The corporations win more than we do, and that's really as simple as it is.
When are people going to realize it's hot this week and it's not the next week?
Yeah.
And I think I'm not going to name any names because I know a lot of the developers of these NFTs off of Twitter, but you're making an NFT, you're making money off of it for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Or, I mean, I won't even say 2 weeks. It'll be like a month or 2 months.
Sure.
So I'll give it that. But then it just like the next one comes out and you're selling this one to go get this one.
Yeah.
And it's just like this weird thing of trying to keep up with the time.
With the
I don't
trends.
see it. I don't buy the NFT stuff.
I don't like it.
I really don't.
I don't
What do you
personally
think
invest.
about it?
I don't personally invest. I just can't knock the hustle, and I just like
Right.
I
Well,
just
yeah.
want to be the first to acknowledge that people are making some real money.
They're doing very well.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
were like really committed to keeping up, especially with like, I see a lot of dudes in our world and our scene that are really into like the profile pic NFT like flipping.
I
you
like
know?
it. I
yeah,
like
it's
that.
Cool.
It's
It's cool. It's fun. I mean, it seems like you have to pay a lot of attention and be like fully engaged. Like the guys that are quote unquote into NFTs are all into NFTs, like completely knee deep in them. I don't want to knock the hustle of it, and I understand that like even though a lot of these things are bubbles that are now a lot of these are going to end up at zero. Maybe it's a year from now, 5 years from now, whatever, depending on how good the project is. A lot of them will end up at zero. That doesn't mean that no one's making money in the interim.
Yeah.
It just means that someone's going to get left holding the bag.
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't know.
when I was talking like shit about Top Shot the other day, somebody
Yeah.
was like, "No, I still do well on there," and it's like I applaud that,
Right,
but
exactly.
it's not for me. You
That's
know,
it.
and like there's people that go from cards. Like I knew Shamdu.
Yes, yep.
And that kid, he's a kid.
He's
and
young,
the kid is
but
like
he's
hitting-
adapted well.
He's adapted. He's
Yeah.
hitting licks, and like people like that are especially at such a young age.
Yeah.
It's like you can't hate on that.
Oh, I can't
No
hate on
matter, you know?
Shamdu. Especially, I remember like he first was like a Top Shot provider before him or anyone else really knew anything about Top Shot. But
Yeah.
he just took it and ran with it. He's like, hey, I'm gonna try to make calls in this, and then from there he's basically fully involved in the NFT space. And dude, he was the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah.
Bro, Shamdu, I have vivid memories of the night that those first
Yep.
released and were minted because I was following Shamdu and he just kept tweeting about him nonstop. And I'm like, dude, this company's getting like no engagement. Why
Yeah.
are you like gassing this up so much? Lo and behold, kid makes an absolute bag off of them, as did a lot
How
of
many
others.
were there?
How many total apes were there? I don't know. We'll put them
I
on
don't know.
screen because I do know. I want to say it was like 5,000, 10,000.
Yeah, I
or
was thinking 10,000.
So do you follow one of the whales? I don't know if he developed it. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing about
Yeah.
it, but Josh Ong, I think is his name.
Oh, I know who that is. He's in
Dude,
GFNF.
that guy-
He's in our group, Josh.
I recognize that
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
Josh, yeah, he's an awesome Twitter follow. So
Yeah.
like throw his handle up or something. But like
I remember him right away because he's verified. He's a check
well, I
mark.
think
Yeah.
he's
I'm
a
looking him
big
up.
guy in the NFT space.
That's
like,
sick.
and he has spaces for it and stuff. And like if I had time, I'd listen to it because I don't subscribe to like the card version of NFTs.
I feel that.
But
because
when it
that's like
comes
people
to-
trying to mesh together two
Right,
things that aren't
it's like
the same.
you're pulling money from one space. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's gonna happen.
Yep.
But I would rather it be into other things that are related to cards, not
Totally
just
feel
like
that.
money grabs. Like I felt like Top Shot was so addicting because you could make quick cash.
Right. But the issue, like people were they were liquidating physical cards
And
putting that money in a Top Shot where it's like that's not good for the
And I
hobby
wondered if
necessarily.
like that contributed to people like having money tucked away for so long,
Right.
to where that's why like the market started dipping. Like if I paid $5,000 or something, I want it on my doorstep within 2 weeks.
Definitely.
You know, with an
Yeah.
NFT, it's easier. Like, but you can't even liquidate that.
Yeah.
What
just
did you
depending.
think about? We had talked about. I don't know if we talked about on the podcast with PSA shutting down.
Mhm.
That like it really just created this artificial like supply where guys just had all these cards themselves because they couldn't submit
All
and
the
then sell
raw?
them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
then like that just naturally made the prices go down because all these guys were just ripping and then either holding but likely thinking I need to start selling this product because
Well, that's what
I don't
happened.
know when I'm going to grade it.
That's what happened with some of the products. Like, I believe NBA Prism is a casualty of PSA shutting down because
Right.
PSA shut down
Yeah.
the day retail started showing up.
Right.
So
Right.
that night, the first day retail was reported in stores, that night was
Damn.
when it shut down.
So that disincentivized the breakers. It
Yep.
Yeah,
disincentivized
'cause you
people
have nowhere
ripping
to
for
send it.
personal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
because it's like
grading.
I don't
Right.
want raw cards
It
on my desk.
Rocked,
Yeah.
it rocked
Wow.
the supply chain.
Right.
And you got people like certain people who make their money off of being group subbers.
Yeah.
And you don't, all of a sudden that stuff is not coming in anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And that makes me wonder, like, or not even wonder, I know it caused some problems financially for a large segment of the hobby.
Yeah.
Like, you're no longer able to go and like kill a dollar box and then send this shit off.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
buy stuff. Like
I
people
thought
aren't.
that was massive.
Yeah, I thought it was huge.
Yeah.
It changed the whole. It created like a hole and a vacuum in the whole economy of the card market, and no one was able to fill that vacuum. Like
Right.
no one was able to do. And I mean, you could argue. I mean, obviously PSA is back open now, but the subs are still expensive, which makes sense. But it really did create a huge hole in the market. It was strange.
It feels like PSA 9s were a huge casualty to it.
Right.
Because now they're selling at or below like
raw,
which is what 8s are selling at.
Right.
So there's no, and then the discrepancy between a 9 and a 10 is growing more than the 3 times normality.
Yep.
You know, like usually people would be like, okay, well, it's selling for 100 PSA 9.
Yep.
It's going to sell for 300 PSA 10. But now I feel like with people, like that being the raw cost, like it's elevating the PSA 10 cost.
Yes.
And when people are sending something off, they're like, PSA 9, fuck this, I'm selling it.
People need to it's almost like the market needs to like adjust and recalibrate so that PSA 9 prices are, you know, raw plus grade,
Yes.
no longer just, I mean, because like you said, they're selling for raw price or less because people know that they're not going to gem. That's crazy, dude. And that almost seems unsustainable as from a market sense.
No, it is. I think people are just getting smarter. But like I said, when I came in, like I elevated from raw cards to PSA 9s to PSA 10s.
Yeah.
And I think you got a lot of people who are just jumping in, like making a mistake like Vince of just going straight into PSA 10. No, I'm just joking with you.
Big mistake, bro. Sorry.
No.
SGC would have
So I
been
gotta
a
buy
lot.
raw Pikachu?
No.
Yes, raw Pokemon cards.
No, I'm just joking
with
with
you.
you.
Pikachu's, hope I'm getting 10s when I submit them.
No, I'm joking with you. But no, I think a lot of people are just going like straight towards like people downplaying PSA 9s. But
Yeah.
like obviously with that kind of stuff, you want to go for 10s.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you just got to know what you're buying
For sure.
at the end of the day.
Dude,
So-
let's talk about just like one thing that you said at the beginning when you were introducing yourself that stuck out to me was that like flipping retail at your local stores, you find you enjoy it, and also it's a way for you, it gives you access to enjoy the hobby in other ways.
Yeah.
So what I wrote down was just different ways that people enjoy the hobby, because I've met people that are like completely enamored and obsessed with the meticulous grading process and inspecting the cards, and that is literally like what they love. They love like hunting like low pop grades and whatnot, and really just and submitting the PSA. The whole process is what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
I've met others that, you know, ripping the product, the actual act of ripping is literally what they're living for and what they're doing it for, and others that it's about the collection that they put on their fireplace. So it's different. It's a hobby that can be enjoyed in different ways by different people, which I find cool. So yeah, I don't know if you want to speak to that.
So yeah, absolutely. So I think like I don't want to be like, I want to sound modest, but like I think I can relate to so many points in that because I flip retail, I have collections, and I also want to hit a lick every time I go to a card show.
Right.
So, and I'll touch on the first one first, like flipping retail, that got a lot of people into it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people going, well, if I'm flipping retail and cards, like I want to own cool cards.
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean. Even you guys have gotten. You went from flipping retail. And
yeah. Exactly.
Now he's buying PSA 10 Pokemon first editions.
Yep.
So I think you got a lot of that, and that's where I came from to an extent.
For sure.
I mean, like I said, that's part of the supply chain too. Like without you guys,
Yeah.
a hobby shop may not get their boxes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or breakers may not get their boxes.
The market is the market, and yeah, like no matter who's actually supply, if the demand outweighs the supply, the aftermarket prices have to be a bit higher than whatever the MSRP price is. And yeah, like you said, the economy of the entire community, there's so many moving parts. The people flipping the product, that is part of it. They're selling it to the people that are
and you
ultimately
hope
breaking
that
it.
Those people who are flipping become people who are investors, because then they're coming in and putting money into the economy that wouldn't have done it a year ago.
Right.
It's like maybe they make money off their retail, but then they're buying your PSA 10 slab.
Exactly, and that's what I kind of had to explain to people on my Twitter is I was posting so much retail, and like we'll go into that too as far as my retail stories, but like I started out that way and I turned into like going to Dallas and being able to flip a card for $1,000 in 5 minutes, you know?
Right.
And like that evolution is so key, but that
you got to start somewhere.
It's so necessary too,
Mhm.
because if you just have people flipping retail, like people are going to get tired of people who don't know like jack shit or don't like care about things.
Yeah.
They're not going to buy from them.
Yep.
And then you're going to see a decrease in prices. And that's why, honestly, I think that's why StockX is probably lower than any other site.
Makes sense.
I mean, when things are strictly monetary, I think you lose a portion of the market.
Yeah, it's less personable, especially like the sports card hobby. It is, people care about it. People kind of like protect it like their crown jewel and whatnot, and it's important to people. So yeah, as far as like just flipping product, kind of lost my train of thought here, but apologies. So flipping product like that, I recall even last summer, maybe a year and a half ago, pretty early, you recall, I started just buying Brady autos and buying like graded cards, and I was learning, bro. Like I was just, I buy like an Julian Edelman rookie, like BGS 9.5. I was just learning, but like you said, that is money being injected into the hobby that wasn't there otherwise, and ultimately that does help everyone, whether or not they like to admit it.
I mean, like, would I've had the money? I'm a college student. Like, would I've had the money if I wasn't going and like destroying 9 Walmarts around me? Would I've had the money to turn around and inject it and buy slabs? Like, would I want to? Because I can afford to lose money that was so easy.
Right. That came to you from flip. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Like,
and
if I'm working at 40 hours a week, I'm not willing to lose that money.
Right.
Yeah.
But money that comes easy from picking up a box off the shelf and selling it, like, I don't care.
And also, it's easy to justify those purchases because, like, maybe that card's going to appreciate, or if it's a player that means a lot to you, it's just it's easier to spend money on something like that.
And you learn the brand so well.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure a year ago, you're buying Illusions thinking, hell yeah, next NBA products. This year when Illusions comes out, that's not going to be at where it was.
Exactly. I do pride myself that, like, I kind of like dove headfirst. Similar to you, I dove headfirst into like really trying to learn these products because obviously like my position is and Vince's is interesting where we are like directing other people on what to buy. So I did know even all the way back last year that Illusions is historically just a super low tier product that's meant to be sitting on Walmarts for the kids to pick at. Like that's literally what it's meant for. I did understand that last year when it dropped, but that was the market sentiment. Is like, yo, everything sealed right now is flipping, especially with Zion in it.
Exactly.
Like, that was really as simple as it was.
And this kind of like goes back to like right now, next week, we're going to be laughing when people watch this. But like right now, those Prestige blasters are going for like 65 a piece on eBay.
Right. Prestige football. Yeah.
And it's like such a trash product.
Literally.
And like literally when this video comes out, it's going to be doing 25, 30.
Yeah. You'll be squeezing out retail after selling
them.
Yep.
I mean, things like that, you just kind of have to learn. And that's where some people get caught. Like the new people can get caught up in that.
Right.
So
no doubt. Dude, let's talk a little bit about like I had written down card show culture. Not so much. I'm going to save the topic of the national for later because I think that is just a huge topic in and of itself. But I hear more and more people talking about card shows. Don't you hear more of our members, like more people buzzing about shows?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super interested.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in, I guess I'll let you go, but I'm really interested in like how transactions work, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll touch on that.
For sure.
I want to know that part.
It goes so much into relationships, which I think at the Dallas Card Show, if you're there for 4 days, like that's a limited room.
Yep.
You're going to learn people. And the showcases change every day. So they may not be interested in this card the first day, but you go up to them the last day. And there's like a first stage like fill, there's a like middle day, 2 days fill, and then there's last day. Right. Last day, people are trying to cash out. You're going to catch deals.
Yeah, because early people are optimistic. They're holding out for the right buyer.
Yeah, I'm going to sell this on Saturday when people are off work.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. So it all goes into relationships. Like for me, I'll talk to a vendor before I ever ask about a card. Okay. Like, hey, like, where'd you get this? Or and I may be losing time. Somebody may be hitting the best deal right behind me. I don't care. I'm focused on this card. So I'll pick up something if I have to pair it with it. And this is like what I was telling Noah. I'm like, if you want a limited out of 25 card, pair something liquid with it that you may be paying full comps. But if it gets you $200 off that other card because you're pairing them together,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, then sell that, and then you got the other one you're in the green on by 200.
That's good advice. So buy the super liquid base card for market value of a few $100, and then, like you said, if there's something to 25 that hasn't sold in several months, you can then negotiate.
You've got money to lose.
Yeah, right.
So I think that's what I try to do.
Advice.
I try not to buy one card at a time. And it's super tempting because if you see a Pokemon card you've been after, it's going to be tempting to just be like, I want that. How much is it?
Yeah.
Don't start out like that.
Right.
Like,
because they got
culture,
you at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if they see you staring down a card, like look at their whole showcase, make conversation with them. Obviously at the National, I know you said don't touch on it, but it's going to be harder.
Yeah.
There's so many
we
people.
can touch on the National. I'm just saying like the big top.
Oh yeah. But say like in Dallas, like you're going to want to like, especially these local card shows too, if you're in there and you're carrying around, not to like, I don't want to sound like a big fish or something like that, but if you're carrying around a certain amount of money, you're probably one of the only people with that amount of money or something. You can make connections with the vendors and then get better deals.
Sure.
So it's all about, at the end of the day, I mean, if you don't like somebody, you're not going to sell them to them at a deal.
Definitely.
So a lot of the older heads, the old heads that aren't plugged in may not know what the hell GFNF is.
Yeah.
You know,
naturally, which is fine.
Which
I
is
mean,
probably good.
Yeah, maybe a good thing, which is also fine and also good. And it's all good. I'm here for the people. So it's fine. Yeah.
No, so I mean, that's a big part of it. It's just like create that relationship.
Yeah.
And politic, because like I have guys that I've seen at 3 straight Dallas shows. I go up to them, I get a good deal.
That's cool.
I had a guy last time, I knew he was from Milwaukee, so when I bought a Giannis card, I knew he was going to want it. I knew I wasn't going to lose money, so that was the card I made $1,050 off of.
That's
in 4 minutes.
Literally, turned it that quickly.
Yeah, like it was a last day deal. I was catching my flight in 2 hours, and I was there for 30 minutes. And,
this was at Dallas.
At Dallas,
so
yeah.
You did pretty well at Dallas. What do you say?
I did. Yeah, I think I made a few grand.
I know one guy that did a little bit better. I know 2 people that did super well at Dallas. Both of them ended up getting one of ones for free. Did you hear about this? They got one of one. They were stolen.
I don't think they did very good.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did very good. They're in jail right now.
So they got the 101 and they paired it with a felony.
Yes, yeah, they got a 1 of 1 and a felony
and
a matching anklet.
No, you don't ever just buy one.
Yeah, so they got 2.
No, he got 2.
They listened to you on that.
Well, there was 2. Did you know that there was 2 people that each stole 1 of 1 cards?
I thought it was one guy.
Dude, there was 2.
No, it was 2.
There was a Mahomes 1 of 1 stolen.
He watched a guy get arrested and stole it the next day.
Literally, it was the next day. So so what happened was the Luka Doncic 1 of 1,
which is how much money?
That's indeterminate. One of ones. It's a matter of the buyer, right? With 1 of 1s, it's an indeterminate. I don't know the market value on but it was a Luka 1 of 1 that was stolen. Guy was arrested. It was it kind of blew up on Twitter, blew up on TikTok. Hilarious. Guy got what he deserved. Not hilarious that the guy stole the card. That is incredibly scummy behavior, and what a shame that someone would be that brazen. Yeah. But the next day, someone stole a Mahomes 1 of 1 from the same show after seeing the other guy get arrested. It's madness.
I don't know what they're gonna do with these cards, and I put that on Twitter. Why in the hell? I'm not saying don't steal anything. But if you're gonna steal some,
maybe
damn,
steal
I should word that better.
Yeah, maybe you should say don't steal anything.
Yeah, if you're not gonna, don't steal 1 of 1s.
Yeah, don't steal 1 of 1s. Principle.
That's so stupid.
The overarching principle is don't steal anything. But if you're gonna do it, maybe steal a base. Maybe a base card, man. Maybe a base card, something that's like a little less identifiable.
Chill out, Nishat. Jesus Christ.
Thanks. But no, it's just the irony of people taking 1 of 1s. It just seems like so obviously.
No, because
foolish.
if somebody tried to sell that to me in 20 years, I'm gonna be like, was this the one that was stolen?
Yeah, wasn't this the 1 of 1 that was stolen? I mean, it kind of has to be, right? Good over there with the mic, but yeah. So one kind of to that conversation of the 1 of 1s. Let's talk fake autos, like fake autographs, because this is something that I saw some buzz about recently. Yeah. Wasn't there and it stood out to me because it was a Brady auto. Wasn't there like a fake Brady auto recently?
Well, that was just HGA being HGA. But they graded a card that was very obviously not Tom Brady's sticker autograph. Okay. But HGA is just, they're dumbasses. So.
Right.
That's just them.
They're so hated, it's crazy.
Oh, and
people
they
just have no respect for HGA.
They should be. Yeah. And I'm sorry if any HGA stands are watching this video, can't help it.
Right.
But I'll throw some paint on a slab and we'll call it.
I thought the color coding matching is cool though. I got to give them that. I think some of them look pretty cool. I saw
yeah.
Hey,
I guess.
Come on.
Okay. Some of them look okay.
It's a decent idea.
It's an idea, but then they shoot that video. Did you see the video they did?
I don't think so.
It was behind the scenes. Okay. And they should have left that shit behind the scenes.
Why? What did they?
It looked like my local Metro net.
Oh no!
It looked like
not a good looking setup.
Cricket
or whatever.
Mobile, bro.
Oh,
And
why
it's
would they? That's weird that they would publish that.
It looked like people got out of class from the local high school and went and started grading cards.
Oof. Okay.
And I don't know. I can't stand them. I don't like how they market themselves. I don't like their AI, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we scan the card and use our AI. Like, that's not AI.
Right.
Like, you can't even add numbers correctly to get a correct grade. Like, your
Yeah.
subgrades don't even equal out to your grade, and you're telling me you develop AI.
Yep.
But you can't develop an if function to get the right grade.
Basic Python.
I saw someone say the other day, there was someone had posted, they're like, I hate when sellers ship cards in these, and it was a card in an HGA slab and he like broke it open in the second picture. He's like, I hate when sellers ship in these, because normally, you know, people complain when they ship in like the wrong cardboard or whatever.
Think, like, and that's led to so much shit. Like, now we have like Revolution card grading and Black Mamba grading, and like, no, like, full offense.
Yeah.
Like, that's just shit.
Right.
Like,
oh, it's low quality. They're literally just trying to take some of the runoff from PSA's demand.
And they're grading
That's
fake
literally
shit.
all
like,
it is.
Looking at that, like, I'm not one to judge a book by its cover, but I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, HGA, like, I looked at that video and I'm just like, who in there has the qualifications to tell me whether an 86 Jordan is real?
Right. Yeah.
Show me that. Like, don't
they were
show
all
me.
super young. You're like,
I don't even care about like the age. It's just like,
it just
I want to
didn't look
know.
like a professional environment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It just didn't look professional.
I have to see that video. I really want to see it.
Oh, it's terrible. Like, we did so my guy, like, Larry Legend is his name on Twitter, but he like made a parody of it called like D's grading ass.
Okay.
And it was DGA.
Yeah, yeah.
And it blew up because everybody, like, you watched that video and it was almost like a parody.
Right.
Like, it was beyond belief, but
they played themselves.
In the end, like, HGA is just trash. So
yeah, that's the sentiment of basically everyone I've heard, is that HGA is really not even in the conversation of grading companies. It's literally just a joke or a meme at this point.
It's like card art.
Yeah, right. Would you, TJ, are you do you have like a strong presence on card Instagram, like hobby Instagram, or more so like Twitter?
I know a lot of them.
Okay.
And they know me at the shows, but like.
But you're not actively involved in.
I mean, go follow me on Instagram, TJ Card Collector, same as my Twitter.
Shameless.
But,
Shameless. Okay. Yep.
But like, I haven't even cracked 1,000 on there, and.
Okay.
But at the same
you're
time,
like 6K or something, 7K on
like
Twitter or whatnot.
5.6. But
okay.
Thank you. But I think like it's hard to transition. But I think when you get down to it, it's like that's a lot of breakers. That's a lot of people who join breaks, which is like an awesome thing. We need that.
Oh, it's a huge part of the community and culture. Yeah.
But I think they like to hype things up. It's a lot of personalities, and Twitter can have that too, but Twitter's more wide open.
And Twitter's more engaging. Like you said, you know, Nat Turner, didn't Nat Turner respond to one of your tweets? Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so Twitter's
like
more of
that.
an open conversation.
It's a
where you can pull up a chair and talk to anyone. Whereas Instagram, it's more display based around the big break pages.
Like if I reply to somebody's tweet, somebody's going to reply and be like, TJ, you're a dumbass. And I love that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like on Instagram, you reply and all of a sudden you got beef on Instagram and no one can see what you're saying because like if I tweet something, everybody's going to see it. Oh, that sounded terrible, but like
everyone's going to see it.
Oh yeah, you're going to see my damn name.
Ego, bring it down, man. A little. I'm joking.
I'm trying to get to 6 foot.
Right. Yeah. That's another conversation. I will. If you want to open that can of worms, I will roast you.
I'm 6 foot. The last measurement I got was 6 foot.
Okay, I'm gonna dive into this. Next topic. I'm 5'10". Okay, and that's just the truth. I'm 5'10". Never been the type of guy to say I'm 6 feet.
ID says 5'9".
ID definitely says 5'10". Regardless of any of that, I mean, my guy TJ here, we're looking eye to eye.
No, we're not. We're
eye to eye, which is fine. And so I thought he was just also a shameless 5'10". I'm like, hey TJ, how tall are you? By the way, 6 foot. I'm like, dude, what? And also he's wearing Air Forces. That adds an inch. So even if you are 6 foot right now, you're 5'11".
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
5'11", 3/4.
But we have a guy here that's 6 foot, and you stood next to him, and you're definitively shorter
But I think
than
he's
him.
like 6'2".
You're 5. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
but like I say, with my ego, I'm 6 foot.
yeah. Okay. Let's take that. 5'10" and 2 inches of ego.
Oh no.
That's okay, man.
5'11" with 1 inch.
5'11" in Air Forces with 1 inch of ego. Fair. No, but and for the record, you did start the height conversation. I wasn't gonna go there, but
no, I love it.
I know.
But yeah, back to Instagram versus Twitter. I think Instagram does have a lot of like scamming problems because it's like no one. I'm not buying. I mean, I will if you've done like vouches and stuff. But on Instagram, like, there's no vouch thread.
There's less accountability.
Yeah, like if
we bought on Instagram technically.
Yeah,
I mean, I've done it.
GFNF has.
I've done it, but like, I feel like it's a lot riskier.
Right.
Because if I buy from somebody on Instagram, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I don't know if they're DMing. But on Twitter, like, if the person's active at all, I can be like, hey, motherfucker, like, you're active.
Right.
I need my response on my message.
That's very true. Yeah, Twitter is just more of an open conversation. It's cool. Like, anyone can pull their chair up to the table and, like, talk to Ken Goldin, Gary Vaynerchuk, like big names, us, not to put myself on that level, but like anyone, I'm saying anyone can reach out. You know what I mean? Like anyone can hit me up. Whereas on Instagram, it's just a different environment, different conversation over there. So,
yeah. And like, I mean, both have simps like every time.
Yep.
But like, I think there's some parallels between it. And like, I think both are necessary.
Yeah.
Both, like, I don't think my personality translates to Instagram.
For sure.
I really don't. I think on Twitter, like, you get to feel like TJ's going to say some dumb shit today.
Yeah.
Or like make a joke that's probably not politically correct or something like that.
Well, Twitter's a little more personality based than Instagram. Instagram is really about like the shot and like, the content itself, the clip, the shot, the angle. Twitter, it's like, it's the personality. People follow you for you a lot of the time and whatnot. So it's cool. It's fun to look at the contrast because there is a huge difference in like hobby Instagram versus hobby Twitter. But like you said, both are necessary.
I mean, even the stuff you guys post on GFNF, like, and you can probably talk about that a little bit, is you posted something on GFNF's Twitter the other day. Like, maybe I'll start posting these shots on Twitter.
Right.
And it's just like things are more socially acceptable. Like, I started out on Facebook, like ripping ships with Topps Chrome baseball. And like that culture was so much different from Twitter, which was so much different from Instagram.
Yeah.
And I think like all three are necessary, like I said.
Yep.
Like a lot of younger people are on Instagram. And then like you have young people on Twitter, but they have to be, I don't want to put Instagram down. Like, I'm not saying they're juvenile at all, but I feel like you have to have a certain level of maturity on Twitter. And then on Facebook, like, you might have some random dude calling you a piece of shit. And you have no idea what's going on.
Facebook, it's funny, we haven't even talked about Facebook. Facebook is also huge. Some of the groups and communities,
it's crazy.
Like the
big breaks.
Breaker communities, and just like just sports card communities where they help each other get retail. They help each other do whatever, buy, sell, trade. It's really prevalent on Facebook as well. Just not for me personally.
Yeah, like monster cards too, man. Like, you've got people on there that are posting like $10,000 slabs.
Yep. I'm looking at Vince because his mic, don't sweat it, man. His mic fell down. But so like a little bit of, I wanted to get into it, like a who's who. Have you met any like big names that stuck out to you, like big names in the hobby that are just like great people that you've been able to get to know at some of these shows and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I'd say, first of all, like, shout out to Mealy Pops, which is my LCS down in Gainesville.
Sweet.
I don't go to the one. They're gonna see this. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't like to go to the one in Tallahassee. So I go to Gainesville. I drive 2 hours instead of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But he's just like a great guy.
Job.
Like, he does a great job. Like, he's got wax from everywhere. He's personable. He's gonna talk to you. He's gonna treat you like a person. Like, the guy has an amazing collection, but at the same time, like, he's gonna make that personal connection. Like, I was in there ripping like Don Russ hobby, you know, and he was still treating me like I was ripping National Treasures.
That's cool.
You know,
that's great.
And he does charities. Like, just an all around great guy. As far as like Twitter, I think, obviously Ryan has done a lot for me and
Ryan's
for a
cards.
lot of Ryan's cards. And people say shit about everybody, so of course everybody has their opinions, but like, the guy grinds like no other.
Oh yeah, I see him 24/7.
Left his job and has just put all in his business.
Yeah, that's great.
His partner David is also a great friend of mine.
Okay.
I'm actually driving up to the National with them, so 11 hours, so we're gonna make it.
Sweet.
But
can't wait.
No,
is that it? That's all it takes?
Yeah, from Atlanta.
From Atlanta.
Yeah, for 15 hours for me. But
sure.
So, but yeah, so like, I think those two have been great. Of course, Supreme Sales is somebody that really, like, I look up to.
James.
Yeah, and shit's younger than me, and like, I love how he does his business. I love how he carries himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, James, like
Super
you said.
nice guy, yeah.
And I think, like, trying to think. Like Roberto Galvez is also great. We already touched on him, but he's awesome. And I think a lot of people, like just the dealers, like you get to see them every time.
Sure.
You're gonna meet people. I'm trying to think. Let's see.
Didn't you say something like you saw like I don't even know like Josh Luber? Didn't you say you saw him like at a show? Like,
so yeah,
just,
so
like
it was
undercover or something
it was
like
super
that?
low key.
Yeah.
Like I think people knew, but it's not like I'm not gonna walk around and be like, hey, that guy over there, you know, that's
StockX
Josh.
founder.
No, yeah. So I had an Ohtani. It was a paper negative. It was an insert, and the dealer was like, hey, let me make a call, and I had no idea. Like I don't know StockX. I'm not a shoe person.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who it was. He came over there and was like, yeah, this card's ugly as fuck, but it's cool. And that was just left.
That was it.
Yeah, because I thought he was going to want it because
Right.
he was after Ohtani.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say what he bought because I don't know if it's public information.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
not going to go there.
No worries.
But he did end up buying a nice card.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, like card shows, like you meet people like that.
Right,
And you
like-
just don't even know.
People that seem larger than life, but then you just bump into
They're
them.
people.
Yeah, they're
Like,
super approachable.
At the end of the day, like it's just people.
yeah. Yep.
And like you guys, like a lot of people are like, do I get to talk to Garrett when they get into GFNO?
Right. But it's
I've been talking to you all day, bro.
Yeah.
You're just a person.
I think I'm
you know?
just a normal guy. Yeah. Yeah, but the answer to that is no for the record. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I agree. People are very personal and approachable. It's funny, I've been kind of like binging some vlogs from like old nationals and whatnot. It just is and I know that this year's going to be way crazier and way busier than any of those were because it was like pre-pop. But man, I can't wait. I think literally it's going to be a who's who of the whole industry, collectibles industry as a whole, like TCG, sports cards, all of it.
Dude, I can't wait. And I'm not even going to get, like, I'm going and I'm not going to be there until, so I'll get there Wednesday. Like, I'll be there the entire time.
Yeah.
But I'm working, obviously, shout out
okay.
accounting.
So you'll be around though, like in the evenings and
yeah,
whatnot?
so in the mornings, I want to,
cool.
like, my idea is, like, I want to get an idea of who am I going to go to dinner with on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then Saturday is my show day, and then I'll come back Sunday.
Sick.
So obviously I'll be around everybody, and I just won't be on the floor. So, which is fine with me. I mean, like, I do a lot of online business. I don't.
Yep.
I
Like you
love
said, a lot of
shows.
it's politicking.
It is
Just meeting people, and I mean, like a dinner meeting, it can be more productive than bumping into someone at the national. You know what I mean? So no, I think it's gonna be awesome. I really can't wait, dude. I'm gonna be there. My plan is arrive some point on Wednesday and take off on Sunday morning early. So I'm going to be there for at least a few days, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the actual show. I'm going to try to get some GFNF vlog content as well, like the little teaser there. But yeah, going to attempt to get the first GFNF vlog. Should be really exciting.
And I think I was thinking about flying up there, but after the flights you put me on to get here. Yeah,
that you slept through. No, agreed. What a disaster. Yeah.
The second one.
Yeah. So his flight last night got delayed to come out for the podcast here. His flight got delayed, and then they rebooked him for this morning, and he literally slept through it. So
but then I got on a better flight.
But then he got on a later flight that got here earlier than the flight he slept through. So it really and he got some rest. So it all because he was actually going to try to pull an all-nighter. Still don't understand why, but yeah, funny, man. What hellish travels recently. Airlines are super booked up. I know I've actually heard that like they're overbooking almost every flight now and trying to buy seats back on like every plane. It's just such a stark contrast from a year ago as far as travels go. It's wild. But what are some big so the national, right? NSCC. What are the strategies? Like you go in there as just a buyer, someone that's excited, you don't have a table and you just want to barter, make some money, meet some people. What are like the general approaches and strategies for a show like this?
So I think because I go to Dallas shows, so they're similar, like divided by 4. You know what I mean? Like it's like 4 to 8 Dallas shows in one building.
Right.
So I can talk on that. So I think, like I said, you want to pair things. You want to make relationships and really just enjoy yourself, as generic as that sounds. Yeah. Like you're there to meet people that you talked to for the last year and a half, for the past 5 years, And outside of that, when you're talking about buying, it's don't, like you guys were asking me who I'm after, which is fine. Like you can go there and be after Mahomes. You can be after Tua or Herbert or something. But look for deals. Like, don't get caught up and miss something that's right next to you because you've got that Herbert you're looking at.
Right.
look at that deal and then use that to get money off the other one.
Makes
like
sense.
I just said.
Exactly. Because it
And I
can be
think-
a whole trading pit. Like you can really barter a lot.
Oh,
like,
I know that. Like I was brokering a deal for Ryan one day at the Tampa card show, and like I learned so much just from like he was on the phone with me, and I was brokering the deal for him, and like that deal changed how I did deals.
Yeah,
it was stack and stack and stack, and each one you're getting $50 off of, to the point where you stack 8, you've got $400 off.
Yeah,
you sell them for 90% comps, you're up 300 on the deal.
Exactly.
So you can eat like that without worrying about getting this specific card for this specific price.
That makes sense.
So
does it feel competitive? Like, does it feel like a competitive environment? Like, man, the guy behind me is gonna, or at the table that you're looking at. Like, what's the vibe like in general?
Okay, generally speaking, like people respect you.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be like, I want that card for hire. I had a situation in Dallas last time, and I hope the guy's watching this because he's a douchebag.
Okay.
But I'm sitting here like
super aggressive.
No,
but continue.
If I knew his name, I'd say it.
Yeah.
But like the guy, I'm sitting there trying to trade a card, and he comes up and is like, "That card's not worth shit." And I was like,
about your card?
Yeah, and it was a comp.
That's weird, bro.
And I was like,
that's a weirdo.
What?
That's a weird thing to do.
And like apparently he was like a bigwig there. Like he was going around doing a bunch of like high dollar deals, and he was like telling me my Pulisic Kaboom wasn't worth what the comp was.
Just chirped you randomly.
Yeah, I was like, that's a $500 card, and I'm like, it literally just sold for $2,300.
Yeah.
Like, please shut the fuck up. Like,
huh?
And you're gonna have people like that.
Right.
You're gonna have your assholes. You're gonna have your friendly guys, and you're gonna have people who look at a table and they don't know anything else is going on because their brain is country numbers.
Yeah, right.
And I try to be a little bit of every one of them. Just not. I'm not an asshole.
Do you trade more or like pay cash more? Like,
I use trading as like chips.
okay.
Like
to get cash.
If I know somebody is after, I'll trade out of a low pop into liquid stuff to sell the liquid stuff.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Because dealers can sell low pop stuff better than I can on Twitter.
Right.
And I think you got to know the person you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But
makes sense.
Yeah, and aside from that, I think overall national vibe is just going to be like, if you're having a good time, like don't stress about the money.
Yeah,
you're going to have so many opportunities to buy cards
and so many cool things, man. Like I think I'm just really looking forward to just taking in some of the visuals of it all, like being able to physically lay my eyes on some of these like holy grail of cards and sealed wax, and that I'm super excited. And just the politicking aspect, just meeting so many people, so many people that I've been blessed to be able to work with over the last couple of years, so many people that I've gotten to know, like customers of mine through the industry, and it's gonna be really exciting.
And I think one thing we need to talk about, and I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
But like fake comps. This
fake
happens.
Comps.
Fake
Yes.
comps.
Yes.
Before every fucking Dallas show, all of these like low pop stuff will just imaginarily have a comp.
Oh.
And like you get screwed. So the Pulisic I was just talking about.
This is good advice. I'm all ears.
The Pulisic
right now.
I was just talking about that I bought it for $1,500. The comp before was like 12, and then one sold for like 13. And then one sold for $2,300.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm trading it. I bought it on a Friday, traded it that Friday because I realized something was off. Like it didn't look right. It said like bought, and it said or best offer, but it didn't show where the best offer was taken. Like I don't think it was finalized.
Sure.
I don't know what was going on with it.
Yeah.
So I traded away at $2,300 value, and I took a little bit of. I didn't take a hit, but I made like $700 on it, where I could have made $1,000.
Yeah.
But I was trying to get rid of it because I was like, something's gonna happen
with that sale.
That Sunday, I was like curious, looked up, the comp was gone.
Wow. Okay. So it was literally a fake sale, just for a guy to pump his bags.
I mean, like, I think Ryan had a casualty as well when he bought I want to say it was a Tatum, and that sale, the comp just disappeared.
That's crazy.
And people are setting, and it's smart in a shitty way.
Yeah. No doubt.
Get your friend to buy it, not pay for it. Use a burner. Like shitty practice,
right?
But it's just something that happens.
Basically be on the lookout for like fake sales, fake shill bids. Right before the national. That makes I didn't even think about that.
Look at trends, like especially on wax too. Like if you're going to be buying wax, look at trends. If you remember this card being $400 less 3 weeks ago, it's probably still worth $400 less.
Yes.
Unless that person has done something. But if there's a basketball card, if there's a Zion card that's just popping off right now, it's not popping off.
That makes sense.
Like,
Yeah, I think
Pikachu's not doing much these days.
No, Pokemon's a whole different ballgame.
He's not scoring any points.
I love me some Pokemon, man.
That market fascinates me. I have
so
no
fun.
idea why it goes up and down.
See, that was my whole so I wouldn't say that I was like got into cards a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I would say that like I was really deep into Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh for years and years and years when I was a kid, and sports cards. That literally transitioned into sports cards. I never collected sports cards when I was a kid to the degree that I did Pokemon, but that's why it was so easy for me to get back on board with that and get passionate about it. Let's talk about general strategies for the National. What do you think? Like, what's the buzz? What are the murmurs? What are people looking for? What are people trying to find at this National?
So everybody's talking about football and soccer.
Okay.
So football and football.
Yeah. Football and football. Yep.
So I think that's the move. Honestly, like a lot of people are after Ohtani, and I think that train is already, it's going to keep going up.
Yeah.
But I kind of like, my main thing is like, don't get caught in the Trae Young effect.
Yes.
Where the media loses love for somebody.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like that player can be popping off. Trae Young went way farther than we thought in the preseason, and he fell off. Like his prices fell off during the season. But as far as what people are looking for, I think football is just going to be crazy.
Super hot.
And it's the easiest thing to say. It's the most generic answer because football season's coming up.
Yep.
But like, it's true. I mean, during the preseason, if Tua throws great and then Tua has the first 2 games, everybody's going to be like, oh, shit, TJ was right, which is going to happen.
Yeah.
But like,
Dude,
I agree.
Biggest Tua
if I were
stan.
buying sports cards, I'd be buying Tua.
No,
all he has to do is do really well for like 2 games, and his cards are so low right now.
They're going to pop.
So
opportunity.
I made a tweet back in the day. I'm going to give myself a little credit.
Advice.
Correct.
So 1,200, when Herbert was at 1,200,
yeah.
I told people, if you try to long-term hold this, you're going to be some really hurt bank accounts.
Yeah.
And I got the most amount of hate on that tweet. And people were like, you buy Tua. What the hell are you talking about?
Right.
I'm like, you're right. I buy Tua. You know what? Like,
I don't buy Tua at this price, though.
I did, though.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
So at 1,200, like, that is worth 700 now.
Yeah.
The Kaboom I bought for 650 is now worth 1,000.
Very interesting.
Of Tua.
Do you have it here?
That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But, like, I'm making money on Tua while people are in the red on Herbert.
Right.
I'm not saying
Tua
Tua is
after
better.
this.
It's not always about what the card, like, it's not always about is Tua better than Herbert.
Yeah.
It's is the market potential for him to grow.
Yep. Exactly.
Because his prices were at points where he'd have had to win an MVP, have an undefeated season, like all of these astronomical things just to reach a certain level.
Tua just has to throw a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Literally.
Have like 2 good games.
One sick highlight reel would just be.
Or the media just to like him again.
That's true.
What about Tannehill? I hear some rumors like he's kind of undervalued.
So that's the move a lot of people are making on
like
Tannehill.
He's better than Mahomes if you look at his stats and stuff or something.
Yeah. He's like, I wouldn't go there. But like.
Mahomes is also so marketable.
He is.
You know what I mean? The media he's their darling.
Yeah, I don't think Tannehill's marketable.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's...
Not to that degree, at least.
If this makes sense, he's like what I thought Darius Garland was going to... Like, I thought Darius Garland was going to do really well.
Sure.
But he plays in Cleveland.
Yep.
And I bought a shit ton of Darius Garland.
Okay.
A lot of people bought a lot of Darius Garland.
Yeah.
And he did really well. And his prices went down.
Right.
So I think Tannehill may be the same way. Like, I mean, sure, if he ends up in a Super Bowl... But he's in the same division as the Chargers, the Chiefs, everybody else. Like, I don't think he's going to ever win a Super Bowl.
Makes sense.
So I think, sure, he's a good play, but I don't know if he's going to pop off the screen.
Got it.
So
football, looking for football at the
I'd be
National.
looking for baseball.
I'm looking, dude. I want a Brady rookie. I will be buying a Brady rookie for myself. Like maybe I don't know, 8 or 9. I'm on the fence between those two. But
6.5.
Maybe a 6.
I think you're getting 6.5.
Not a 6.
get a 6 and crack it, and then sell it for PSA 9 price, and then
6 in honor of,
I like the way you're thinking
TJ's
of
height.
No,
what was it? 6?
6 in honor of TJ's height.
Yes.
Jesus
I'll buy a
Christ.
PSA 5 in honor of TJ's height. That's funny, man. I'm so pumped, dude. And anyone listening to this, excited to meet you. It's gonna be a really fun time. So many people I know are going. Let's talk. We've got a segment that we do called This Week's Leaks, where we normally will talk about like upcoming shoe releases that we just got some like leaked images of. Let's spin it. Let's do just cards today. Okay. Keep to the theme of the show and the episode, which I think is great. So a few products that we have up and coming. It's not going to be like a dramatic reveal like a leaked shoe picture would be, but more so just maybe talk about the product itself, what we think they're going to do with it and the printing, and just what our feelings. Are we excited for it? Let's start with Optic Basketball, which is soon to come. It was originally scheduled for, I want to say, September.
It was June.
It was
they
June
moved
originally.
It back to August, yeah.
Okay, to August. Yep, and now it's basically going to be behind Select Basketball. So did I say? Yeah,
that's
so
weird.
Select Basketball first,
I didn't
and then
think
we
about
will
that.
ultimately see Optic Basketball, which is the product that I'm like the basketball product that I'm most excited
Looks
for right
cool.
now.
Yeah.
Optic's amazing, dude. I love ripping Optic. I think that
The
there's some
box
of
looks cool.
my personal favorite cards. I think that they're just beautiful. Also, historically shorter printed than some of the other lines.
Yep.
So generally less printed than Prism, less printed than. Go ahead.
And we get on-court autos. That's the big thing. That's
Yes.
why everybody loves auto. I mean,
'Cause
Optic.
they have the
Optic.
license for
Yeah,
that.
Prism is sticker, and that's, you get combine photos and
Right.
like all these poses that are weird. On Optic, you get like good poses. You
Yep.
get on-card autos, and it's just like so visually appealing.
Yes.
But-
Yep. Optic cards are awesome, man. I'm super excited for that. In my opinion, I think that Optic Basketball is the hottest retail product in the foreseeable future that I can even think about.
Yeah.
So that's why I had that first on the list. And do you expect them to keep it shorter printed than Prism and the others? Like,
This kind of goes back to their printing habits.
Yeah.
Like, do they go back to, like, I don't know if you guys remember football Optic football.
Oh, I do.
Was
That's-
so much shorter than Prism football.
night and day.
And
night
I
and day.
wonder if they do that, and I hope they do.
Me too. I really hope they do. If they have like a nice limited retail
Yeah.
product, like if they leave at least one or two retail products pretty limited like that, like that would be sick.
I hope they don't do what they did to Select, man.
that was a travesty. Yeah.
I will say they released Select Baseball, and there was 12 cards per blaster.
Okay.
And I feel like that is great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm all for Select
Yeah.
if you do that.
Right.
You know? Like, I want people to get shit blasters.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but like, I don't want to see a Herbert in every other blaster.
Seriously. Because it
So-
just brings down the total value of all of them. Like they're
Exactly.
all worth less at that
Exactly.
point. The next product I wrote down was 2021 Topps Chrome retail. So this will be the retail variation of 2021 Topps Chrome. What are your thoughts on that? Do you expect it to do well? Are you going to be ripping any yourself?
I may rip,
Yeah.
just because I like Chrome products.
Okay.
Obviously, we're gonna rip some soccer Chrome, so I'm happy about that. I wonder if that soccer Chrome where people are like, "Damn, these cards are nice."
Yeah.
I wonder if that's gonna flow into baseball.
Yeah.
Two different markets, two
Mhm.
completely different markets. I think it's like a pinnacle of the baseball. Everybody looks forward to that. It's not really many baseball products you can flip every year.
Yep.
So back to retail flipping, I think that's going to be a good one.
Yep.
Last year, prices for blasters were 60 on like the first few days, 65, and then they sunk to about 45, settled at about 40.
Sure.
Well, now those are going for 80. So does the market respect last year and compare the classes? Or does it look at this and go, well, now they're going for 80, and now this year should go for 60. So I don't know where it'll settle as far as like the standard blaster. But I do think it's going to be like a big release.
Yeah.
So
Exciting. When is that scheduled for again? Like, are we thinking September, October?
no, I think it's actually, I'm pretty sure it's early August.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty
So
sure, yeah.
soon come then.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
soon. Yeah.
Okay, exciting. Yeah, because I do remember last August, September is when we were seeing all the huge hauls of Topps Chrome
I think it was
last
like
year.
July.
Was it that early last summer? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Lastly, let's talk Select UFC. So yeah, UFC contract being with Panini, relatively new. Prism was the first product that they did. Prism prices actually got really low, surprisingly. Hobby and retail, I think the blasters got down to like 40, 45.
Yep.
So my first initial thoughts on when I heard about Select UFC was cool. Like, people love UFC product right now. It's there's a little bit of buzz around it. But if they do any type of printing, like aggressive printing, those prices are going to come down quickly because it's not Prism.
Yeah.
Do you think they follow the baseball path and put 12 in each? That would be awesome. I
Yeah.
would love to see that. You get it. Your first Khabib is coming out of like a limited product.
Right.
And that would be something I think is going to boom.
Yeah.
And that's going to make or break it, honestly.
If they do like smaller print runs and they do like 12 card blaster boxes, and that would be sick. I mean, I'd be for that, and I think that would definitely sustain prices. Do I think they're going to go that route? I don't know. I'm sure they heard the reception and the feedback about Select. They know how much of it they printed. It was just, maybe that was a test run. It was the first Select retail product they've ever done. Yeah. So they probably just, there's metrics there that they didn't have prior.
And it kind of goes back to what does the market view it as? Yeah. Because like you mentioned it going down to $40, $45, but now the blasters are like 70.
Yes, they're up.
75. Exactly. Like everybody wants them. I had a friend who was just stacking on, one of our GFNF guys. Yeah. Shout out. But he's seen that and thought there's going to be market growth. So I wonder if people are seeing Prism now and going, you know what, maybe a Select blaster at 55 is good.
Is a good price, right? Because I think it was a little under optimized as people were getting familiar with this new reality that is UFC Panini cards. People were. It was the only retail variation that they did was blasters. So I remember saying, like, if you're gonna, if there's any product that's going to go up, if people want to rip this stuff, they're going to be ripping blasters, and that's going to bring the total count of them down.
Well, and because we've had fighters emerge since the release of Prism. True. Like Sean O'Malley. Yeah. He was kind of emerging early, and now he's like one of the main guys. Like and even Connor, he lost, which boosted Dustin Poirier. Yep. But it also, like, Connor's boosted too. Like, I don't know why. Dude got...
Well, he's just back in, he's relevant again. You know what I mean? McGregor has these lulls where he's not fighting, and pop culture is not talking about him as much.
But I think he sees that he's losing that, and he wants to be relevant again.
Right. So right. Well, that's why he's committed and like immediately was like, "Hey, I'll be back. I'm going to fight again." I think so too. He's kind of losing that notoriety.
I think it helps slightly. The UFC market in all though.
Nobody thinks he can win.
No, people think that he's like washed up
at
this.
Done is what people say.
Yeah, right.
No, wait, I haven't seen him hungry again. Like, I want to see him like the same kid that grew up poor.
Ever since that $100 million Floyd check, my God. It just hasn't been
hit. He just takes pictures riding a bike around.
Yeah. Okay, I'll ask you this.
That isn't gonna cut it.
If y'all made $100 million, would you be flipping shit for $10 profit?
Yes, because I'm addicted.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Oh, you're addicted? I'm a hustler, bro. It's in my blood.
Funko collector to G.I. Joe collector to something bigger.
Oh,
Hot Wheels, yeah. Except real Hot Wheels, like. Yeah.
That's funny.
No, I'm addicted to flipping stuff.
I'm addicted to flipping stuff too. But I'd probably get into real estate. Realistically, it would be real estate. Probably not $10 profit things.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But I would definitely be trying to keep that mindset.
See, like for me, it's hard. Like me flipping, like I said, it shows for hundreds on every card I flip. It's hard for me to sell a card for $1 and make a 50 cent on it.
I feel that. Totally.
So like the best people, like Card Collector too, like they're still flipping that shit for $1 for $3.
Yep.
No matter how big they get.
Right.
So
I mean, I would do that, yeah. I might hire someone to help me do that.
Right.
I would definitely still buy it.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I'm addicted to buying stuff. So
I also love buying stuff. Cool, man. That is it. That's all I've got written down for this one. TJ, it was fun.
Man. Really, I enjoyed it.
Really fun meeting you, bro. Really fun having you out. And I think this episode was great. People are gonna love it, dude. Yeah. So till next time, guys. That's it for me.
All right, cool.
Thank you guys for checking out our channel. For more podcasts, card breaks, and all things resale, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.